Where else can we go? 55. Not marble, nor the gilded monuments of princes shall outlive this powerful rhyme, but you shall shine more bright in these contents than unswept stone, besmeared with sluttish time. When wasteful war shall statues overturn, and broils root out the work of masonry, nor Mars his sword, nor war's quick fire shall burn the living record of your memory. 'Gainst death and all oblivious enmity shall you pace forth. Your praise shall still find room, even in the eyes of all posterity, that wear this world out to the ending doom. So, till the judgment that yourself arise, you live in this and dwell in lovers' eyes. So again, we are returning to the same themes in 55 as we saw in 18, which is to say that, all things pass, really. Marble gilded monuments. We can look at the Sphinx in Egypt, and yes, it was probably once a very beautiful thing, but my, how it's aged. Yes, time passes and things deteriorate, but you, my beloved, you're going to live forever. Why? Because I'm William Shakespeare and I'm writing these wonderful poems, and yes, there we go. Shakespeare repeated his themes. He did. And people categorize his sequence of 154 sonnets into, I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different themes that are hit over and over and over and over again. 73, this is one of my favorites. That time of year thou mayest in me behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those boughs, which shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. In me thou seest the twilight of such day, as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away, death's second self, that seals up all in rest. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, as the deathbed whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. This thou perceivest, which makes thy love more strong, to love that well, which thou must leave ere long. And this is a kind of a culmination, Sonnet 73, it's a kind of a culmination of several sequences that have come before it. As I have said, the first 126 sonnets are written to the young man, the fair young man, and 73 points out the very sharp difference in ages between the beloved and the lover or the speaker of this poem. We see the speaker of this poem as an aging man, as a man who is concerned about losing his youth. Okay? That time of year thou mayest in me behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold. We have spoken about metaphor. Yes? Time can be tracked, linear time can be tracked as the beginning of the year to the end of the year, the beginning of a day to the end of a day, the beginning of a season to the end of a season, the beginning of a century to the end of a century. Time of year thou mayest in me behold, yellow leaves or none or few do hang. That's fall, right? Autumn. Deciduous trees lose their leaves. They yellow first and then they drop. What else drops? A man's hair. Few do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold. Bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. Okay, so he's losing his hair. In me thou seest the twilight of such day. Remember I said beginnings of things and ends of things. The twilight of a day would be the end. Okay, so he's talking about growing old. As after sunset fadeth in the west. Okay, and in the end, he is thinking of, right, when he might pass away and leave his beloved all alone. And he is commenting not upon his own love of his beloved, but his beloved's love of him, consumed with that which it was nourished by. Okay, here we go. This thou perceivest, thou meaning you. You see that I am aging, which makes thy love, your love, more strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long, which is to say, to continue loving a person who is growing older, losing his fine looks, deteriorating physically, and presumably eventually going to die first. So this is a praise poem, and it's a praise of the beloved, but not for what the beloved looks like, for the beloved's love of the lover. And this is one of the ways in which, I mean, Shakespeare has a well-earned reputation. He's one of the high marks of literature, and he still is, and we still read him because everything always seems fresh with him, and it doesn't matter how long ago he wrote it, and it doesn't matter how many times you read it, you still find more and more and more, and it's still applicable, and it's still rich. He doesn't just give you what you expect. There's always that twist, and there's always something deeper and richer and finer. Okay, let's pause here for a moment.